in New York, there was this bar owner who had some undercover cops come into his restaurant, order some food, and then arrested him right after serving them. They pull a sting operation on a restaurant owner. And I think this is ridiculous and an overreach. Why are we arresting business owners because they're serving food? And this was in New York, and New York has a order or whatever it's called to limit dining in and dining out, pretty much restaurant businesses.
I'm going to say something I don't agree with.
Okay.
He broke the law.
It's actually not a law.
He didn't. I thought you said they had a.
It's an order, not a law.
Okay, can you explain the specifics?
Well, the specifics is it's an executive order. Cuomo signed an executive order to do this. It's technically like it's weak. It's like a law. It's a matter of strength kind of thing. Law holds more strength. Executive order doesn't.
In the executive order, do they have
and it's
the power
speaking
to
unconstitutional.
enforce it?
Who has the power to
The
enforce
police.
it? I mean, technically they do, but because it's executive order and it's honestly kind of arguably unconstitutional, it's up to their discretion.
It's up to their discretion. Okay.
Like there's some cops who came out.
You know how I am.
Because in California, I think was it Gavin Newsom told cops to a similar enforcement, and I think it was California where they said no, we're not doing this. Like it's up to their discretion.
Okay. So this is where
I can see that, but Gavin's kind of he's a piece of shit at this point.
Yep.
Dude, Cuomo and Gavin. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go on a Cuomo rant after this, but let's talk about this.
Like when it comes to police, I tend to be very consistent when I say I don't agree with what they did, but that shit happens all the time with other things, and we waste the time, and we do stings, and we do undercover cops and all this shit, waste all this fun just so they can meet their quotas and get the money back in some other way. I don't get it. I don't understand it. But if they're going to be consistent, be consistent. So if they're going to set up stings for people serving burgers and fries, my brother, go ahead. Go ahead. If they view it as a crime.
Was like how did the arrest go down? Like, you're under arrest for
so
serving
dumb.
COVID.
Well, this is the crazy part too. Is after they arrested him and blah blah blah. When Presti returned to his shuttered Staten Island business, Mac's public house on Wednesday morning, deputies reportedly lined the building outside to ensure that no other than Presti and coworkers could get in. That's that's extra. Why are y'all doing this
extra? Did you see
extra?
the guy that came out and spoke out on his behalf?
Bro, I would have started serving them
Looks
burgers.
like a classic Italian mobster. Gel slicked back. I think his name is actually Johnny Tobacco. Like I think it's actually some crazy ass, funny ass name. Like I think it's in Long Island or some shit like that, or specifically where it was, what borough it was in. I don't know. I think it's stupid to do all this stuff, but we use the police in the worst way already. So it's just like, to me, it's just nothing new. Like, really, he had to be arrested for indoor food and
He's been fined too, $1,000 a day.
And
What
stripped
the?
Yeah, right here.
his state liquor license.
And stripped of his state liquor license for staying open in defiance.
Hey, if you get caught with a 0.5,
This is
If you
ridiculous.
get caught with a 0.5, you get put on probation and they take your license away.
I'm really curious though, like how are these states right now? I guess I know the answer to my question. I was like, how are they making money? But the truth is, they're not. Like, think about it. So New York charges you to live in there. There is a state residential tax. So you obviously have to work if you own a business so that you can pay to even be where you are. And then the state itself is telling you can't do that. So you're going to get charged for living there when you can't pay them to, you can't even work to pay them to be there. Like, it makes more sense to just be homeless. And then you get benefits from the people that are paying to live there.
Very backwards.
Very backwards. It's
Very.
Yeah, so
Ridic-
like
it's
it makes
stupid.
total sense why those places are being evacuated. Like people are
Evacuated like
exiting
that,
from
damn
them.
near.
Yeah, because
people are
like in
mass
Texas,
exiting.
Texas right now is in a weird situation where like before the pandemic, I was kind of for the way California and like the New York and all them worked, but like once the pandemic hit, I realized I had to reanalyze everything. And so I realized that like Texas doesn't charge you to live in it. Texas, what it does to make its money, as far as I know, is it taxes goods and services.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to keep the economy going. It's terrible if you turn it off because then there's no money being generated for all the public services. And so I can understand why, the governor would stretch out lengths of time to turn off the state and turn it back on as soon as possible because it's not making any money. And so it can't survive itself. Whereas these other states are just like squeezing their inhabitants for every drop to keep going when they can't actually even pay to do that anymore.
This whole thing is stupid. Legalize marijuana and stop fucking charging people to goddamn eat burgers and fries. That's lame.
That's very like
what this guy could probably do to fly under the radar is what this guy could probably do to fly under the radar is to turn his burger joint into a grocery stop. And then all of a sudden he's an essential worker.
Okay. Now,
That's
this is
interesting.
where I like him a little less. Presti started a GoFundMe account on Sunday to raise money for Mac's fight with the city and state governments. Nearly $34,000 of the $500,000 target has been raised as of Wednesday afternoon.
What's your point?
$500K is a lot.
500K is a lot. My question then is, how much? What's the number of his fines? Like, how high has he racked up those fines? Because if the GoFundMe is to help pay those fines, that's understandable to me. But if it's just a GoFundMe to make money to keep the business afloat, I mean, I understand it, but you're right. 500 seems a lot. But my question is, then how? Because $1,000 a day. If it's been a month or two, that's already $30,000.
If the GoFundMe is to pay the fines that he already has, and he says
even
he's
still,
not going to
500,000 is a
continue.
lot.
Okay, because I also, like, even though I don't agree with the law or order, I don't want to pay a band or whatever money, donate to his GoFundMe. He pays his fines. And he keeps doing this shit again and gets more fines. Like, I'm like, okay, I agree. Well, how much money we going to spend on principle? At the end of the day, they winning. You be paying the fines.
Is he paying that's my question. Is he going to pay the fines? I remember, I'm not sure if it was this guy or another guy in California, but they vowed they're not paying fines. Like, they put a public video where they ripped up the paper with the fines.
Oh, yeah, I saw that guy. He had like a gym, right?
I think, it was the gym.
He's a big bearded guy.
Yeah. Like, so it's...
We'll see how that works out.
Exactly. It's like, we'll see how that works out. But at the end of the day, the goal here, I'm assuming his goal here is just to make ends meet, to make sure his business is still floating, to pay his employees, and to probably pay himself. So how, just because he's getting a fine, he's still going to, like, that's a stupid deterrent. I'm going to fine you when you are struggling to keep your business open, to keep the business closed. That is idiotic.
You know what it means?
God bless people in New York.
You know what it means? The politician doesn't have a long-term strategy for his position. He plans on moving on from the position, so he's looking for short-term gratification from the people around, whatever will make the people around me happy right now, so I can move on to the next whatever. It's like, I don't think Cuomo and Newsom really plan on being governors that much longer. I think they're both going to be running for president within the next election.
Oh my gosh. Hey, thanks for watching a clip of Fake Deep Thinking. If you like what you heard, be sure to subscribe, like the clip, leave a comment, and check out our page for more content. Full episodes of Fake Deep Thinking are released every Friday on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify. Peace.